Alright, so today I'm doing an unboxing of the Behringer, I think that's how you say it, Behringer Bigfoot all-in-one USB studio condenser microphone. I was just on Amazon, kind of needed or wanted a condenser mic, and so I just searched it up in Amazon to see what my options were, and this one popped up as on a flash sale. I think the MSRP is right around $100 to $110, and it was on flash sale for around $25, which is what I got it for. So I just decided to pick it up at that price. You know, if it's bad, I can return it. And I just saw the Behringer name and have heard a lot of good things about their products. They have some higher end products, but they also tend to target the low end, the more budget minded end too. As other people have pointed out, Bigfoot is a nod to the Blue Yeti, one of the most popular condenser microphones for more casual use, or I don't know what you'd call it, lesser high end, because people who are making music, they might have way more expensive equipment, but for people who are just wanting a nice microphone that provides good audio at home, they tend to like the Blue Yeti and its Spawn and its other versions, like the Blue Yeti X, I believe, or Pro, I can't remember. But this is a not so subtle nod to that Bigfoot Yeti, obviously. I got this the other day, just been waiting to open it. I haven't opened this yet for a more true to life unboxing. It arrived with, hope you can see this, with the package partially damaged and the little lip that secures it. I don't know if they're supposed to be taped there or not, but it's not there. So I guess we'll see once we get in here if anything's out of place, but I have a feeling it's just mild shipping damage and that this isn't supposed to be taped, and it's just, a not perfectly flush box. It's kind of thin, so it's bowing, which is probably why it's kind of protruding a little bit. But anyways, let's get into it. Just open this. Okay. It's got a nice little protective piece of cardboard on top. I'm trying to figure out, what? Let's do the old tried and true method. Just turn it upside down and lift the box up. Okay. Looks like we have a box within a box. I like that. So here is where the tape actually is. Let's see if I can pick this off, otherwise I need to grab a knife. Actually, there's a knife right here, kitchen knife. Slice this right open. Looks like it opens this way. Let's turn it here, like so. So it does open this way. First order of business, we have sealed quick start guide with, looks like a Behringer sticker. Interesting. Let's put that away. I'm seeing a cord. I'm betting this is the cord that plugs from the mic itself into the computer. Nice little packet of silica gel. Probably actually helpful considering that it's rainy where I'm at in the Central Valley of California right now, and don't exactly want moisture on your mic. So remove the protective styrofoam, and here we go. It's bigger than I thought it would be, which can either be seen as a good or bad thing depending on what you're expecting, but let's take it out. And it looks like that was the last thing in the box, so we'll put this over here. there it is, the Behringer Bigfoot. Let's see. I got an empty bottle of wine right here that I can use for reference. Let's take this styrofoam, put it out of the way over here. So it's all wrapped in plastic still. There's the back, there's the front, but here is a standard sized bottle of wine. So, you know, it gets just above where the bottle starts to narrow towards like the top spout. So it's no small mic, but it's also, you know, not the largest condenser mic I've ever seen. Just right off the bat, looking at it too, it's obviously got its own stand, but then at the bottom it's got a screw hole that looks like the, I don't know the size off the top of my head, but it looks like the standard size for it to screw into a boom arm. So let's get into this. I'll just give my first impressions because I'll do a full review after I use it for a day or two. So it's nice steel construction. It feels nice and heavy, which I like. Makes it feel a little bit more premium. Let's just put this up. So we have on the front here, we have mute button, nice and tactile. It's not super clicky. It feels more of like a, I don't know how to describe that. Maybe you can hear it. It's not like a click of a mouse per se. It's more of a softer click. We have the volume button, or volume knob, I should say. And then around the back we have two more knobs, our gain knob and our pattern. So it also gives, let's see, make sure you can see that. The pattern knob, it shows us the different patterns that this mic can be set to in terms of whether we want it to be only facing one direction. So if I'm speaking to it this way, it's only picking up audio from the front and not from these sides. Or some other patterns where maybe you want to be able to pick up the front and the sides but not the back, or you want it to pick up sound from the complete circumference of the microphone. Top, nice construction, you know, hard metal mesh over the microphone itself, but not too much else to say about it until I get it going and can listen to how good it sounds, or not how good it sounds, depending on if it is or not, but I have confidence in it. I watched some brief reviews, read a couple of this mic, and if it's, you know, if it's a Blue Yeti clone, I bet that it's going to sound pretty good. It's Behringer as well. They have a pretty good track record. I'm not expecting it to be beating some of the, you know, multiple $100, you know, $300-400, especially when you get up into the $1,000 condenser microphones. I'm not expecting it to be on that level, but for just speech and then, you know, maybe light music production, if it ever comes to that, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Let's see, first impressions of the cable. It's actually a pretty long cable, which I very much appreciate, because, you know, it'll be unwieldy if, for example, your computer is right next to you and you don't need this length of cable, but having more is better than not having enough length, because you can always tie it up, versus having to go find a new version of this cable. I don't know what you would call it, but it's, you know, I've only seen these on older digital cameras from back in the day, and then a couple other devices. I'm not sure the exact name of this. It reminds me of micro USB but fatter. Um, so not the most common cable. I would have liked if possible. I'm not sure what the reasoning for using this cable is. If there's no way to use any other cable, but I would have liked to see USB-C ideally, considering that's what everything is moving towards, and I bet C can handle whatever data transfer that needs to happen between the mic and the PC just fine. Or even micro USB if it's adequate in terms of handling, like I said, the data transfer between the mic and the computer. I'm not sure if this maybe supplies more power than micro USB does, and maybe this needs more physical power from the computer. But nonetheless, at least it comes with a long cable, and as long as you're not manhandling the device, you shouldn't ever have to think about getting a new cable. And as long as you keep it all together and don't lose it, again, you shouldn't have to think about getting a new cable. So when it's plugged in, it's got enough area down below where the cable can comfortably rest, and then you can route this to your PC wherever it ends up being. Shouldn't be too far away, considering wherever your workstation is. I doubt that you would be more than this amount of length away from the PC for whatever you're doing, whether it's streaming or recording music. And let's break into this quick start guide just to see if there's anything of note. Typical sticker. I don't know where they intend for you to put that, because obviously I'm not going to put it on the microphone. Probably not going to put it anywhere, to be honest, but I guess if you really, really just want to rep the fact that you have a Behringer product, if you're that much of a Behringer fanboy, you can put this on whatever you want, your laptop, your PC case, your phone if you want to. So we got the quick start guide, Bigfoot all-in-one USB studio condenser mic. It's probably just exactly what it says, a quick start guide. Wow, the first so far 13 pages were all just the legal section. There's a lot of legal because it's in probably 20 different languages over here, I see. Bigfoot controls. I don't want German. So, yeah, we got the controls section. The capsule itself, so they call it a capsule. The gain, the pattern, mute button, volume, phones. So this output connects to headphones with an 1/8 inch stereo plugs. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like a no latency way to monitor how you sound. So let's unplug this really quick. See if you can see it. It's just this little, it's like a headphone jack, typical 1/8 inch audio jack. So if you want to hear how you sound with no latency, like I said, you can plug in straight to the microphone. Thread, mount the microphone on the standard microphone stand by using the built-in mounting thread. So yes, this would mount onto a boom arm, and I'm assuming if that's the case, then it should be, I'm not going to do it right now, but the stand should be removable, because this is where most of the weight is coming from. It's actually very heavy, the stand, and that would not be good to have on a boom arm with the stand, because you wouldn't need it anyways, but with the extra weight, I don't think it would work. So I'm sure that probably by unscrewing one of these two screws, or both, you could probably remove the capsule itself from the stand. But I don't have a boom arm, nor do I want one, or have a need for one, so I'll be using it just like this with the stand. So it's just the controls. It's organized with different sections. So first we have controls, and then goes through controls in all of the different languages, and then the next section in English is getting started, so it's just making sure that you have it in the correct orientation. Maybe, especially since it's a lower cost microphone, especially on the flash sale, but regardless, it's one of the more budget options. Some people might not know that you want the volume and mute button facing towards you because that's technically the front. Someone might assume that this is the front and be getting terrible audio and not realize until they listen to it back later. So it says set it so that mute and volume are facing you, tighten the screws on either side to keep it at your chosen angle, run the USB cable to the USB output on the bottom, yes, to your computer. Be sure to select it as your audio device for recording and playback. That makes sense. While speaking or playing into the microphone, watch the input meter of your recording software interface. Use the gain knob to increase or decrease the signal from the microphone depending on the level shown in your meter. Yep, just normal microphone testing, the whole typical tap on it, testing. It's got the polar pattern, so number 1, it's like a Venn diagram looking thing, 2 circles conjoined. Stereo, left and right channel, great for acoustic guitars, it says. Then we have number 2, which is omnidirectional, picks up sound equally from every direction, good for, like say if you're using this to podcast, that's probably where you want it to be, is omnidirectional. 3 is cardioid, which looks like an upside down kind of heart. Cardioid pattern is excellent all-purpose. It strongly picks up sound sources from directly in front of the capsule. Good for vocals and instruments when you want to limit the amount of room ambiance picked up by the microphone. So say, I'll probably use this more for streaming and game audio. I don't necessarily want every little sound in the room being picked up, so I'll probably end up switching it to cardioid, and that way it picks up me talking directly into it, because I'm not going to be, moving my head around to the sides or the back of it, so I don't really need it to pick up anything from around here. And then the last is bidirectional. Bidirectional polar pattern picks up sounds from both the front and rear of the microphone while limiting the amount of sound picked up from the sides. It's useful for 2-person interviews or podcasts when you only have one microphone. So the omnidirectional is, I would say, also useful for podcasts, just different scenarios. So omnidirectional, for what I'm imagining, is you stick this in the middle, you have more than just 2 people, and they're all kind of around the microphone, not just front and back. And so you're picking up every direction and also the ambiance of the room, I guess you could say. Whereas the bidirectional seems like a one-on-one, like it said, interview, where it's right in between you two. Say you guys are the other interviewee or the interviewer. It's picking up from your side and my side and not this side. So it's bidirectional. Seems like it's way more useful for just 2 people with the microphone right in the middle. And I think that's probably it in the quick start guide. Yeah, it's just information about registering. So, not too much to it, which is nice, since it's more of a, how would you call it, layman, more of a, the target audience is not audiophiles who are going to be buying, condenser mics with XLR inputs and way more complex audio setups. This is more of a plug and play, and so you don't really need a whole lot in the box other than the microphone and stand itself, the cable that plugs into the PC, and the whole intention is that's basically all you need. From there you just plug it in. It should, like it said, install the drivers automatically. If not, I'm sure you could go to their website And then from there, it should work as picking up as an audio source, but just way more high quality than the traditional microphones that come on, for example, a headset. Even good headsets that have nice microphones attached to them, they can sound great, but what you can get out of even more low budget condenser mic is just by far and away much higher quality audio than you would get off of a traditional headphones, gaming headset mic, for example. But that's the unboxing of the Behringer Bigfoot. In all seriousness, Blue Yeti clone from Behringer. They're trying to attack that market. Seems like undercutting the price and just trying to copy the rationale behind everything between targeting the lower end market for people who are just getting into streaming, for example, or just dipping their toes into audio production, vocals. So I'll upload a more full review as I use it, and I can have some days of experience with the audio, see if it makes any difference and how big of a difference between recording on my headphones mic. I just upgraded to a Razer V2X headset. I think I'm missing a word in there, but it's got a great mic in it. It sounds really good, but I have a feeling this will take the audio just to a whole nother level. So thanks for watching the unboxing, and I'll catch you in the review.